If you want to learn the best ways to attract incredible women that you are actually interested in, women that have the potential to date you, that have the potential to love you, and that have the potential to be long-term partners and good mothers for you, if you're interested in that, stay tuned in this video because I'm going to give you the 5 steps in 2025 for you to be able to attract incredibly high-quality women. Hey guys, what if I told you that everything you've ever learned about dating and attracting women was wrong? What if I told you that not only that big tech and pop psychology and the mainstream media was not only giving you information that was ineffective, they were giving you information that was actually hurting you when it came to dating? What if I told you that there were actual content creators that were considered experts that were telling you things like become more vulnerable when you haven't even earned the right to become vulnerable in front of a woman? What if I told you that there were content creators that were telling you to express interest in women who didn't know anything about you? What if I told you that there were content creators all over the world right now telling you that you need to just be yourself when you've known the entire time that just being yourself was probably the worst way to attract women possible? Instead of being your most improved self, instead of being your most attractive self. What if I told you that the majority of people giving you the advice on how to attract women were actually clueless when it came to attracting women themselves? What if I told you that things like the 5 love languages were complete and total hokum, that Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus was written by a guy who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, that the art of seduction didn't actually help you seduce? What if I told you that the majority of mainstream content creators, when it came to attraction women, really had no clue what they were talking about? Well, I'm not telling you this theoretically, I'm telling you this factually. The vast majority of people who are giving you advice in this area are giving you terrible, terrible advice. My name is Michael Sartain, and I've been studying intersexual dynamics for the last 25 years. I've been coaching for the last 16 years, and I'm here to tell you, through thousands of experiences of my clients, right now there's 3,300 guys that have gone through the Men of Action course, through my thousands and thousands of personal interactions, and from the hundreds and hundreds of studies that I've reviewed in evolutionary psychology, I can tell you that I have come up with a foolproof way in order to help men attract women. And not only is my foolproof way theoretical, it's actual and practical. And the reason why you know it's practical is because you can go right now to moamentoring.com/testimonials and you'll see 200 video testimonials of all the guys in Men of Action who have had incredible success when it comes to this program. The only reason there's 200 testimonials is because the video editor ran out of time, because right now there'd be 2,000. The reality situation is, when it comes to the idea of intersexual dynamics and learning how to attract women, there is no one who has done more studying on this subject in the last 25 years than me. I've been able to build incredible social circles with unbelievable people and punch so high above my weight that some of the women I date make people furious and angry when they see me with them. And it's not just me, it's also my clients. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of clients who other people would say were too short, too old, too brown, too fat, too ethnic, too poor, whatever excuse they had. Those excuses didn't matter because we had a way of getting around all of that. In the Men of Action program, we didn't care about other people's theories. We were only concerned about what worked. And because of that, it's one of the reasons why I'm able to return so many testimonials and so many satisfied clients compared to every other course that's out there. The majority of my clients actually came to me because Pickup failed. Pickup was giving them bad advice. Several of my clients came to me because marriage failed them. Several of my clients came to me because their education when it came to intersexual dynamics either came from the church, or it came from big tech, it came from the mainstream media, or it came from some pop psychology book. All of them giving bad advice. I'm here to tell you that that stops now. The first step I'm going to tell you, and I know I'm going to get a ton of pushback from you. Guys, I'm a 47-year-old retired U.S. military officer, and no matter how much people just like me want to gnash our buttholes and grit our teeth, the reality of the situation is the thing that gives you the most leverage with women right now in 2025, without a doubt, there is no argument, there is no alternative, there is only one answer. That is to fix your social media. When you fix your social media, not only are you able to show massive amounts of status, but you're able to do so while you sleep. You're able to do so passively, and you're able to do so while showing low perceived effort. You potentially could show that you have high status and attractive qualities to hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions and millions of women over the course of a year. There's no substitute, there's no alternative. For some guys right now who don't have quality social media, media. It's very similar to going to an attorney's office, and when you go to sit down in his office, there's no carpet. There's a hole in the floor. One of the walls is missing. The attorney doesn't have a desk. Every woman that I've interviewed, thousands of women that I've interviewed over the last several years, when I ask them what is one of the first things they do whenever they meet a guy that they consider to be possibly attractive, that they might want to date, the answer is ubiquitous. They always go check the guy's social media. This idea that you not having a social media will somehow make you look cool or high status, it doesn't work anymore. It might have been true 7 or 8 years ago, but it's not true now. How do you fix your social media? It's incredibly simple. First off, at the Men of Action program, one of the things we'll do is we'll give you about 70 different profiles to go over, and you pick the ones that resonate with you the most. What you want to show is relevancy. Are you a relevant human being? Meaning, are you doing things that make you irrelevant, like being overweight, wearing clothes that are not in style, listening to music that nobody else listens to, or just having a sense of style or persona that nobody thinks is relevant? Can you show that you're relevant? Meaning, if you're the older gentleman, are you the older gentleman that's also out of touch and overweight? That makes you irrelevant to a lot of women. Are you competent? Are you the best in your field? Do you show that you're an incredible guitar player, an incredible athlete, an incredible writer? Are you really good at what you're doing? Some level of competency, whether it be snow skiing. And recently you see guys going online, streamers playing video games, becoming relevant that way. Do you have some level of relevancy and competency when it comes to a skill set, so that women can see that you're highly ambitious and you have some level of intelligence? Access to scarce resources, access to scarce networks, and access to scarce locations. This is another thing. I know several guys right now that just because they have access to backstage at the concert or they have access to VIP at the nightclub, they get to funnel incredible, beautiful women into their life. This is an incredibly, incredibly awesome thing. You see guys who travel all over the world, they take pictures in beautiful locations, and women can actually imagine themselves where these guys are, whether it be in Paris or London, whether it be in Rome, whether it be somewhere, a cool beach in Florida or California, whether it be at the Grand Canyon or the Valley of Fire, or they're on the Strip here in Las Vegas. Whatever it is, when they have access to these places, women will look at that and be like, wow, that seems like somebody who seems relevant, competent, that I might want to hang out with. Access to scarce networks. Throughout our evolutionary history, the men who had the best networks were the ones that had ability to procure the most resources. So it makes sense that women evolutionarily would see men that have these incredible networks and be most attracted to them. Can you hook her up with incredible photographers or models? Can you hook her up with incredible places that she can go? Can you introduce her to people that can help her grow her business, or introduce her to her favorite author? There's all sorts of things that having these incredible networks can do that you can show on social media. Can you show social status? Not just who you know, but can you show who knows you? Who is it that follows you? Who is it that likes your photos? Who is it that you take photos with? Can you show photos and videos, evidence that women show some level of compliance and happiness, joy and approval whenever they hang out with you? When you do so, there are studies that show undeniably that men taking pictures with other attractive women are shown to be more attractive. The Royal Society, Texas Tech University, and several other academic universities have done studies on what's called mate choice copying in humans and shown that men who appear with attractive women, groups of attractive women who seem to be happy to hang out with them, are deemed to be more attractive. This is a cheat code on social media to make your social media look incredible. So if you're looking for a template of social media accounts that really resonate with your type of persona, we've got dozens and dozens of examples for you on School, so make sure you guys go out and check that out. Step number 2 is actually really simple. When you think about it, people all over the world put up these little vision boards on their refrigerator of all the different things they want to accomplish. People write their goals down all the time, and that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do as well. When it comes to building an incredible social network, what I want you to do is take out something like a Google spreadsheet. You can use any kind of spreadsheet you want. You can use Microsoft Excel, whatever. And I want you to write down 2,000 female influencers, or just girls that you'd like to date, hang out with, come to your parties, whatever. And I want you to put them on the left side of your sheet. And then I want you to put 200 male influencers right here on the right. And when I say male influencers, I mean successful entrepreneurs, whatever it is that you're looking for. Guys, if you hypothetically had a podcast that you'd want to come on your podcast. Generally, I like that ratio of about 10-1, meaning 10 times as many females as males. We'll get into ratio later on once we get to step number 5, but it's really important that you guys have a really high ratio of more women to men. We'll go over the reasons why that is, but in short, if you want 100 women to show up to your party, you need to invite 1,000, and if you want 100 men to show up to your party, you need to invite 0. Men just tend to show up to these things a lot easier. But what I want you to do is go right now and create a list. You need this list to be of all the people that you want to hang out with and that you want to create events. These events are going to funnel attractive women into your life. This seems difficult, but it really isn't. We teach you something called the IG rabbit hole, where basically you find a girl who's exactly your type, and then you look at all the girls that she follows, and you look at the locations that she tags, and you look for the photographers that she tags, and then you look at all the people that those locations, those photographers, and those other women follow, and you're going to find a group of women that live in Des Moines, Iowa, or Waco, Texas, or that live in whatever small town you're from, whether you're from Jupiter, Florida, or you're from Sacramento, California. You're going to find these groups of women that live in your area, and you're going to put them on your list. Building a list is almost like building a dream sheet, but it can't just be women. You need to also have influential men and women that are in your city that you also want to be part of your social circle. So step number 2 is to build a list. Step number 3, and this is a tough one. This is probably the hardest one for people to understand, but it's really, really important that you do this, because when you do, you're going to be able to magnify the amount of people you're going to reach very, very quickly. One of the aspects that happens specifically on Instagram is that if you try to message thousands of people, you just go in the request folder. Step number 3 is to get as many open threads with as many people as possible. And the way you do that is by inviting them to different events. Now, this is not going to make sense in the beginning, but you can invite people to events that you can't even get into. You can invite people to events that they're never even going to go to. Often I do this. I'll invite people who live in Eastern Europe to parties that are going to happen in Las Vegas. Some of the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life, I'll invite them and they'll say, oh my gosh, I'm not in Las Vegas, but if I'm ever in Las Vegas, I'll definitely hit you up. And now, voila, I have an open thread with somebody who would have never messaged me or never answered my messages before. And how did I do that? Because I invited them to Babes in Toyland, the Maxim party, the Teatro party, the bikini competitions at Wet Republic, a Super Bowl party, an animal rescue charity, any kind of gala for ALS or for cancer. This is really important to understand. When you use the event invite opener, one of the things that you're able to do is you open by offering value. This is really important to understand. You're never creepy when you're offering value. And 99% of you watching this, when you message women, you come off as creepy. Even if you don't do anything that's creepy, most women find most men to be unattractive. So by offering value off the jump, again, hey, would you like to walk the red carpet at the Maxim Super Bowl party, etc., then that's not a hard thing to do. And you might be saying, well, Michael, I can't get them on the list at the Maxim Super Bowl party. Yes, you can. Just message me. I'll put them on the list. Or any of the guys in Men of Action, they'll put them on the list. We have the guest list for every single party in the country. Every single party in the country, someone from Men of Action is involved with the guest list. But when you do that and you use those invites, what happens is an incredible number of women will say yes to you, or even not even say yes. They might say no, and they might just say thank you. And even if they leave you unseen, that's fine too, because now you have an open thread and you're not put in the request folder. This gives you an incredible advantage over, like, say, a club promoter or just some creepy dude who just messages people, or even a lot of times celebrities who message girls. Often these girls never see the messages because it goes in the request folder. This is a way to get out of the request folder and to get in the primary folder on Instagram. When you do this, you're going to be able to throw events or help other people throw events and meet thousands and thousands of women. The open thread section is also very confusing to a lot of people, because one of the things that happens is people are like, well, Michael, what if I invite them to this thing and they can't go to it? It doesn't matter. As long as they said thank you or open the thread at all, you have open threads with thousands of women, which puts you in the top 1% and gives you a massive advantage when it comes to the following steps that are going to 10x your dating life. Step number 4, find 6 female teammates that help you whenever you go to these events. It's really, really difficult for a lot of guys to understand. This is probably the most important piece of advice that I'm going to give in this video or in any video. The number one way to meet attractive women in 2025, without a doubt, there is no argument and there is no number 2. The number one way to meet attractive women in 2025 is to have incredible female friends that, number 1, get you used to being around beautiful women. Number 2, get you access to incredible locations and incredible events. And number 3, introduce you to more women. Having 6 female awesome teammates. And by the way, I say the word teammates because I know a lot of guys in the manosphere get pissed off when I say female friends. I do mean female friends, but I'm going to say teammates just so you guys don't, get your panties in a wad. The reality situation is when you have a bunch of female teammates, the world opens to you. Back 25 years ago, I used to work at a gentleman's club. And one day, one of the girls came to me and she said, hey, listen, it's so-and-so's birthday. We're going to go down on 6th Street in Austin, wondering if you want to come. And I was almost like their chaperone. I was the only guy. It was me and like 12 girls. We went out to this bar. And I remember going to the bar with these 12 girls and thinking, man, look at all these girls. If any other girl sees me, they're going to think that one of these girls is have a boyfriend. Oh, look at all these girls. There's too many of us. We're never going to get into a bar. Or I was thinking, oh my God, look at all these women with me. Am I going to have to buy all of them drinks because I'm the only guy? Turns out none of that was true. At no point when I was walking around with 12 girls did any club ever not let me in, did any place ever charge me for anything. We got free dinners, we got free drinks, and the crazy part is other women would be like, who the is this guy with the 12 girls? And they would come up and talk to me. Again, if you guys want a scientific explanation for this phenomenon that we call pre-selection, the actual scientific explanation is called mate choice copying in humans. Feel free to stop the video right now and look it up. When you guys have 6 female friends that go with you to these different places, the reason why I said 6 girls, by the way, is because in Vegas, we kind of have this rule. If you want a comp dinner or a comp table, you're supposed to bring 5 girls. So I added one more and said 6. And also 6 puts 3 girls on each side when you have a photo, and it's probably most optimal whenever you take photos. And by the way, when you take these photos, we're going back to step number 1 when we're trying to get pre-selection in our photos. The women should also always be slightly turned in towards you. They should be touching you. You should not be touching them. And their smile should actually be bigger than your smile. They should be very happy, very accepting, and show approval with your presence in the photo. By doing that, you'll notice a lot of other women will notice. And your ex-girlfriend will write you and say something to the effect of, I don't like who you are now. You've changed. You shouldn't do this, Michael. You look like a player. When you get that message from your ex, you know what I'm talking about is working. Going back to step number 4, having these female friends, you're going to notice incredible advantages. But here's one caveat I need to express to you before we go any forward. It is never okay to have women friend zone you. You getting friend zoned by women is the worst possible scenario. It is the lava at the bottom of Super Mario Brothers. It is when those ghosts come and eat you on Pac-Man. It's instant and complete death. You not only having a woman friend zone you, is it bad for you and your relationship with that woman? If she tells the rest of her friends that she friend zone you, you will not be a viable sexual option for any of those women. You are not there to let women friend zone you. You are there to friend zone women. You are there to friend zone every single woman you meet. I've said this several times. I have thousands of female friends, and I'll tell you that about 85% of the women that I've dated over the last 2 decades are just women I was friends with. We were just cool, we were just friends, but one of the things that was confusing to them is unlike every other chump man that they were involved with in their entire life, these men would constantly show interest. They would constantly hit on them. And then they would see me, and I'd be hanging out with 6 girls like we referred to before. And they'd be like, why is Michael always with those other girls? Why does he never show me any attention? Why are all those girls flirting with him? What's going on with him that makes him so attractive to those other women? Again, refer to mate choice copying in humans. When you understand how this concept works, you're going to understand the easiest way to build attraction without showing any effort and without showing any intent to women. And for step number 5. Step number 5 is to put it all together. You might be saying, Michael, you've given me these incredible steps. You've explained to me all the reasons why we should listen to you. The fact that you have thousands of satisfied clients, the fact that you've been studying this for 25 years, the fact that you've worked in nightlife, that you've been to the Playboy Mansion, you've worked on the Ignite parties, the Maxim parties, that you're building these incredible social networks and you're able to show all of this. Undeniable evidence all over social media. The fact that you help thousands and thousands of men be able to fix their social media and end up dating the woman of their dreams. You've shown all this different evidence for the reason why we should believe you. You've given us these incredible steps. Number 1, fix your social media. Number 2, build a list. Number 3, get open threads. And number 4, have 6 female teammates. You've done all of that. How is it that we're able to turn all this attention that we garner on social media from these events by showing incredible attractive traits through pre-selection? How do we garner that and then transmute all that energy into incredible dates? That's step number 5. And if you want to learn step number 5, it's really easy. The first thing I need you to do is click the first link in the description below. When you do so, you're going to get a free social media audit from one of our guys who's going to be able to help you go through step by step on how to transmute all this incredible energy you get from these events, you get from this social media, and you get from all this attention through pre-selection and turn it into incredible high quality dates. So don't wait. It's 2025. It's a new year. There's a new you. You want to change your life. And if you're ready to do so, don't hesitate anymore. Click the first link in the description and we'll see you on the other side.